Hey there, in my last video about my short ownership of the V-Rod, there are three small stories which I didn't actually bring up. Now the last one is quite a weird quirky one which I don't quite believe, and it's all to do with this 36mm socket. So I bought the V-Rod, I've been riding around for a little bit, and one of my friends who also has a Harley-Davidson suggested that I go on a HOG Poker Run. Now I was thinking, what the hell's a HOG Poker Run? Okay, Harley Owners Group, apparently they do a poker run. It's a charity ride, you go around with a whole bunch of Harleys, you go at particular stops, you've got a card and you like a club's ace, that sort of thing, and it's a poker hand. And you get a bit of money for it, and I think the money goes to a charity. What charity? I don't really know. So I thought, what the hell? Why not? However, it was crazy. First of all, it was a wet day, and I hadn't really had the V-Rod that long, so I was still getting the grips around what it rode like in the rain. I mean, the Dunlop tyres weren't particularly awesome. It tended to sort of wheel spin a wee bit if I was a bit too aggressive. But that's cool. So we met up at the pub, introduced myself. There was one guy that I've been talking to, is the president. And looked around, and yeah, they're all sort of 60 plus, so the demographic that you'd expect. I didn't ask if they were doctors, lawyers, dentists, and all that. But all black leathers and all that. Here I rock in with my yellow Alpine Star jacket, yellow and grey, and all that, and I got the bright yellow Harley-Davidson out the front, and they sort of looked at me like, I had a badge jacket on from all the charity rides I've done before, with all badges and stuff like that. Anyway. So they seem pretty friendly. They got me sort of brother. Be respectful. These guys are doing good. You know, they're doing charity rides. So time to go. They all sort of rustled up. Right, jump on your hogs, Davidsons. So off we go. And first point of call, go for a ride up to the first part. That's cool. I'm sort of riding along in my yellow V-Rod. Felt really out of place amongst all these black Harley-Davidsons, all in black and white. It just felt really weird, all doing all the staggered. It was all pretty good riding. You know, they're quite respectful. They were blocking off into sections like they do and all that, which is not that illegal, but that's okay. You know, not my problem. And going through, the riding was pretty good, as I mentioned. Stuck to the speed limit and all that. So first stop there, and there's a lady and a man there with a desk. Go through, get the card, they do all that ticking off. Right, off to your next destination. So off we go, all stagger ride, and we end up at, I think it was a US Marine Corps memorial over in just north of Wellington. And that was pretty cool. Had a look around, got all the tickets and all that, and then off, I think there was about 2 or 3 more stops, riding in the rain, sort of trying to stop the V-Rod from fishtailing, real throttle control. This well before we had ABS, traction control and all that. So get there, get back to the pub, park up the bike, sort of walk in with them, and they all go off into their little wee clicky groups and all that. And I sort of stood there, I was sort of looking around thinking, geez, I'm not really part of this. You know, these are nice guys, but they all had all their little nicknames for each other, and I tried sort of going over to one of the tables with them and try and sort of chat with them, and I just couldn't connect with them. It was a bit of a shame. So I figured, no, I'm not a brother. I'm not a Harley-Davidson owners group rider. So I thought, okay, you know, they looked at my yellow Harley, and it's just, yeah, it was almost like I was a little bit of an outsider. Almost like when the V-Rods first come out, and they weren't rail bikes, they weren't push rods and all that. So I almost sort of felt a little bit like that. Maybe it's just my perception. I don't know, but I didn't fit in. And that's fine, you know. They do their thing, I do my thing. So that was the first one. Second story. Now, I dropped it, didn't I? Yes. So coming home, right into my driveway, doing sort of 10k an hour and sort of inching around with my feet up, trying to be pretty cool and all that. Now, the V-Rod, well, the Street Rod in particular, had very narrow steering angle, and whether it's something to do with the rake back 32 degree fork brake as opposed to 38, and they may have shortened it, I don't know. But anyway, cruising up to the driveway, full lock, going slow, then I hit the one pothole in the driveway, right along, and then all my momentum stopped instantly, and here was the bike hanging, my feet up, and I was thinking, damn, I'm going down. I can't save this. It already started leaning over. Thought when it gets to that point, if you've ridden a big bike before, you know what's going to happen. You just hope for the best, get everything out the way. You ain't saving it. It's 300 kilos. You just got to brace for impact. So got my foot and leg out of the way just in time from the exhaust as it went crunch straight down. It pinned me under the bike, and I thought, oh, this isn't going well. So a couple of expletives at the top of my voice, which didn't really help anything. Wasn't going to say, the bike was going to say, oh, I'm sorry you're upset, I'll get back up immediately. No, I yelled out for a bunch of people, yelled at the top of my voice as I was pinned underneath this 300 kilo Harley, which was hot. Luckily my leg was out the way, and then a few people come running over. Took 4 people to back up this big heavy V-Rod, and struggled out. I had a look around, and I was okay. A couple of lordy grazes. I was wearing all my gear and all that, which was good, which is what you're supposed to do, all the gear all the time. So what happened to the V-Rod? Bent a lever. Here's a picture of the lever bent. A few scratches on the back of the muffler, and a couple of scratches just at that front radiator shroud where the yellow one is, the really weird looking thing. But apart from that, wasn't too bad actually. No indicators broken. The bars seemed pretty straight, considering it just went bang straight down. I mean, it wasn't just a gentle slide, it was the full force of Harley-Davidson's might coming down, screaming heap. So that was okay. Picked it up, you know, it's all good. I think that was pretty much, I was on the point there of I was going to sell it, and I think that was the final nail in the coffin, because that was right towards the end of my ownership before I sold it. So that's number 2. Now, number 3, where the 36mm socket comes in. Right, so the last part of the story here is the strange one. Now, this is crazy. So, riding along on the V-Rod, and there's a little bit of slapping noise. I think coming from the rear end, it's a little bit strange. I thought, okay, so I kept riding. This was on a charity ride. I had a nice young lady on the back who wanted to come along for the ride, and ride along and slap. No, it wasn't her, but no, it's coming from the drivetrain of the V-Rod. So I thought, okay, so I finished charity ride, riding very gingerly and carefully and all that. So I get home, I thought, right, I better check the belt out, just in case, because I don't know a lot about these belts. So look up online, and it says 15mm clear tension. So I thought, okay, can't be that difficult. So check out the V-Rod, look at the belt. Whoa, that's quite a bit more than 15mm. So I look up online and see how to tension it. I've got no idea how to tension it. I just thought, undo everything, pull it back, and yeah, do it up again. Yeah, that'll do. But no, it's got to be 15mm according to the spec, and you've got to have some sort of box that you buy from a Harley dealer or something, and it's got this measurement and all that. I thought, oh, stuff that. I should be right. So go and check out what I need. 36mm socket, and of course I don't have one. I have to go out and buy it. 36. That's the biggest axle nut I've seen. So I thought, okay, so torque wrench on, undo it, wiggle the rear wheel around a wee bit, check the clearances both sides of the rim, check that there, yep, that looks about 15mm, tweak it up, tighten it all up. Right, let's go for a check ride. So jump on it, go off down the road, seems okay after a few minutes, slap, right on slap. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. So get it home again, put it back in the garage, have a look. Oh yeah, way more than 15mm, something's going wrong. So I thought, okay, this is beyond me now, it's got to go back to the shop. I mean, I've only had it a few months, surely they'd honour it. So I took it back, explained to the people there, yep, we'll look after it. Here, have this 250 watts it here for a few days and all that. So a few days later, bike's all ready, got a phone call from them, yep, come in, get it, cool. Right, jump off, go on the wee bike, go on into the shop, and yeah, they said it's all done, all fixed. But, okay, so what was wrong with it? They said rear wheel bearing was stuffed. Really? Rear wheel bearing? And they said, oh yeah, that's it's because I've been sitting in a warehouse for 6 months in Japan, because it come from Japan originally, and apparently it stuffed the rear wheel bearings just from sitting there. And I thought, wow, that's weird, I've never ever heard of that before. So anyway, they fixed it. I just thought, it wasn't a cop out. Was it true? I don't know. I mean, you guys ever heard of that? I don't know a lot about Harley-Davidson, so I don't know if they stuffed that, but I know from friends of mine got gold wings and things like that, which have been parked up. Never ever heard of that. But I thought, I don't know. They fixed it, but by that stage, that was the final nail in the coffin. I think the Harley-Davidson's ownership with me had sort of come to an end between that and dropping it and all that. So, yeah, that's the story. Thanks for watching.